Kristina's organising the painting.
Last look at the frame as it is. Old, rusty and green.
As you can see in this picture here, the subframe has been primed, and as you can see in this picture here, it's been fully powder coated. Okay, something's happening. We're taking the truck into the woods. We deliberated on whether we would take the Luna Menace, but she is part of the crew, so she's coming as well. Luna, in the truck!
Alright, what are we gonna do now?
Just pick her up and throw her in, I think.
The puppy.
In you get them, puppy. In the truck. In the truck.
What? Almost.
Good effort. I think we'll work on that one. Right. Okay, so. Red line's pretty quick, isn't it?
Hello, trucker.
On the trucker? Yeah, you can feel how low ratio that is. Basically, 1 to 4 is the low ratio box, and 5 to 8 is the high ratio box. Really, I want to get the truck. That's not even warming up for this thing though. We didn't even have the diff lock on then, so we would have been losing power, but you see it really sort of snap to one side. You can't just sit back and relax, you have to really drive it. Well, I say that's like literally a tiny little ditch that most four-wheel drivers would laugh at, but
We don't want to get stuck on the day when we need to leave.
yeah, and also going from a Renault Traffic to this, it's a little bit similar.
I think we'll definitely need a gimbal.
Puppy, you got a mother, don't you? To deal with us. So literally anything more than walking speed is what you saw.
My tummy is all like shaken up.
Yeah, this won't be holding your food. And you're like, oh, yep, time to go. So we've taken the Unimog into the woods, and suddenly it feels smaller. It feels like the right size now. Next to normal cars, it feels like a giant, but now in the woods it feels quite good.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign, isn't it?
So how was your first ride in the Unimog?
Yeah, quite scary, to be honest. It's like you have to really drive it. It doesn't feel like just planted. It's like, you know, feels like you very much have to be involved in the process. I think it's going to be quite tiring to drive long distances, but
However, the weight will be greater.
it will be, so it will be
More stable.
So, yeah, that is true, actually. Fingers crossed.
It's quite scary for me, to be honest.
I'll get better. I'll get better.
But success.
Great success. Oh dear. So as you can see, after our little adventure in the woods and after having the subframe removed, we noticed that the spring had popped out. We're not 4x4ers. We didn't know this was going to happen. We didn't even know this is a possibility, but it did. And we are about to have a fairly ineffectual go at popping it back in again. You need an awful lot of force to lift the truck. And when we do eventually have all of the habitation box and all of that sort of stuff on, it will be heavy enough that this will be much more unlikely. So yes, hopefully we won't have to go through this palaver again. I'm just thinking there's one back that we can go, being the tow bar, and then try and actually lift the back end, but I don't think this is going to be big enough. We need that 10-ton bottle jack. Arr, arr. It's just a good shout good job that we spotted it, because if you seriously popped out, I mean the danger of that, if that unlocks, that spring will go pa-choo! I don't think it would damage the tyre too much, but it's certainly not worth thinking about. But yeah, I think that's one for the garage, unfortunately, with our limited supplies.
Okay.
Feeling.
Am I?
Yes. So, here we are back in Italy again, after our little adventure in the woods and our little schoolboy error. That's all rectified now, so that's all good. So we're heading back to Lithuania next week to start the restoration process. We won't be restoring it ourselves, but we will need to do some bits and bobs in order to get the whole process started. The chassis and the cab will be restored by a guy in Lithuania. There's a company there. The guy and his father, it's sort of a family business, so that's going to work out really well. But we've got some things that we need to do before that, just some little tidy up bits on the cab and the chassis, just stuff that isn't going to go back on again, and stuff that's going to make the process much easier for him.
Yeah, and another big thing that we will have to do is we will need to remove the cab of the Unimog chassis. So we're planning on renting a Hiab that will come to the restorer's place where the Unimog will be parked, and they will lift off the cab once we disconnect it and put it in the restorer's garage. So the Unimog chassis and the cab will be sitting side by side as he will be working on them.
So if anyone has any top tips on removing a cab, if anyone's seen or been involved in that process before, please share in the comments below. That would be really handy, because we haven't done it before. Our Mercedes Unimog manual is turning up next week, and I think there might be some bits in that, but yeah, it's just going to be a bit suck it and see. But if anyone has any top tips, then
welcome
in the comments below.
We will also be removing the wheels, as the restorer will have to remove them anyway. We will come and collect them, disassemble them, take the tire off the rim, and then put the rims in for restoration as well. So we are going to have them sandblasted,
Powder coated again,
primed and powder coated, as we decided to go with the tires that fit on the rims that we already have. So that's a small saving that we can make.
Yes, yeah, people get the fancy Hutchinson wheels, I think they're called, with the bolts, so you can remove the whole thing, but they're just outside of our price range.
So the restoration process is going to take about 2 months, maybe 2 months and a half, and we will be going back to Lithuania in the middle of August to hopefully assemble the Unimog back, so put the cab back on the chassis, and then pick it up and drive it all the way to Italy.
With a big shopping list, we have a very big shopping list. So yeah, Lithuania will be where we'll get most of the supplies, or the structural ply for building out the inside. The big beams, I'm going to make a big jig for assembling the box on the back of the Unimog. So yeah, that's going to be quite a mission, but that's not going to happen until August. There's lots of things that we have to worry about before then and work out that we don't know yet, but compartmentalization is the name of the game, I think, with this one. Yeah, and you might be thinking, that we are getting a lot of things done by other people. So that has been the case up until this point, but from us picking up the Unimog all painted, we will be doing everything ourselves. So as James said, we'll be picking up the panels from the panel company, and we will be assembling them ourselves, and then fitting out the whole habitation box ourselves as well. Yeah, well, not technically by ourselves. Hopefully there's going to be some help. A group of friends helping out. If anyone wants to come and help carry panels and put them into places,
Welcome.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
I've got some likely victims of
Candidates
lined up already, hopefully. So, but yeah, that's going to be a fun process. I'm a bit sad I'm missing out on the restoration process. I'd like to be, going through every nook and cranny and taking it to bits. But
we did our calculations, and financially, it's better for us to be here working and pay someone else to do the job.
And that guy has much more experience and will do it in half the time that I would have. So
and it's going to take him 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So it would have taken us way longer than that.
Yeah.
To do a proper job.
Yeah, to do the job that we're sort of, to the level that we're happy with. So.
Yeah, and tools.
And the expensive tools and all that sort of stuff, just not worth it. So we're happy to let someone else do that bit for us. But then everything else past that point, as Kristina says, we'll be doing ourselves. So that's very exciting.
So that's it for this video. If you're here just for the Unimog, you can stop watching now. Otherwise, you can keep watching, as these are going to be the best bits from our journey back from Lithuania to Italy.
Ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao.
Morning.
Good morning. Puppy.
Hello, puppy. What are you doing over there?
What's your verdict?
For some reason, it's never occurred to us to wear slippers in the van. Never.
That's a happy puppy.
Mountains! I can see the mountains!
Austria, Switzerland.
Beautiful. Talking about beautiful, there she is! Beauty, beauty! And another beauty is right here.
And a third beauty.
And a third beauty. Got water, got the keys.
So today is our last day on our road trip from Lithuania back to Italy. We are in this little village just here, which is on the border between Switzerland and Italy. So we are about to go for a nice walk. James wrecked it yesterday. He went for a little run with the dog and he said it is very, very beautiful. So I'm going to have a look as well. We've just come from here and we come across this beautiful little chapel. There's so many of them dotted around the hills and mountains here. Have little altars inside.